are live. We're back with Silent Podcast where we are anything but silent. Wow, that is a lot of I feel like yelling on my energy, but that's the way it is today because sometimes you just got to be loyal to the soil. Hey.
Hey.
My name is Mark, and I am half of the Silent Podcast team here talking LRGs. And right now we're talking Survivor Philadelphia Season 3, Now or Never, Episode 4, Loyal to the Soil. I'm here with my dude, the one, the only, the man who just got back from an LRG himself, Davey. How are you, my dude?
Hi. I am. First of all, I'm doing good right now. This past weekend, I did participate in competitive events, All Stars 2. It was a weekend where there was a night zero where everybody got to know each other. There was a huge reveal and twist on day one, and then day two was the merge. And little sleep, little food. We're tired, we're hungry. It was hot, it was rainy, all the elements. I had a great time.
Did you take today off? That's my favorite thing about when I do LRGs. I take the day off afterwards. I'm just decompress.
Yeah, that's my number one thing. The first time that I ever played an LRG, I did not take the first day off. And I remember just getting really emotionally overwhelmed at work. And so now every time I do an LRG, I like to take a day off today. I slept in until 12:30. I ordered my favorite meal. I took a little walk. I sat with myself a little bit.
You have to. Whenever I do an LRG, regardless of placement, I always take that day off, and I'm gonna get myself some nice Thai food, like pad Thai, because I get that good calories in there and I get that good energy in. You feel good. You feel better, regardless whether it's because I'm exhausted because I played a hard game, or I'm sad because I played a hard game.
Yes. Lots of emotions, lots of feelings. I think it's very important to decompress. If anybody out there is wanting to decompress after a live game, I wrote a really nice little guide, so hit me up.
I cannot recommend it enough. It has helped me before, and I've seen it help other people. It's a beautiful document from a beautiful soul and a beautiful human being that I will always cheer for.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Mark. You've really lifted up my spirits.
Well, I'm excited to talk about this episode. I mean, I'm sad by the outcome. I'm not going to deny that.
Yes.
But I really, really am vibing with this season of Survivor Philadelphia. And this episode, Loyal to the Soil, although it's not the most intense episode ever, is a fun one to see new dynamics emerge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you go first.
Oh no, I agree with you. I think that new dynamics and a swappy baby is something that is really important to the game of Survivor because you have to be able to navigate those things.
I literally cannot get to the end of the game if there's any kind of twist at all, including a merge. If you can't work with people from the other side, or navigate around it at least.
Yeah, I agree.
So I know you're always a big fan of your beautiful questions to start off every episode, and I feel like we kind of talked over it, because it's exciting to be I got back from an LRG, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I have two questions for us. The first one, because the episode is titled "Loyal to the Soil," my first question is pretty simple. It's, what's your favorite flower?
I want to make sure I said the correct one, so I'm looking up really, really fast. Because there's a very specific flower that always just sparks joy in my nerdy little heart, and that's a dandelion.
Oh.
The reason why is not just because when you blow on them, it looks really cool, so the petals go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything more cool than seeing photos of fields of dandelions.
Yeah.
They're a very pretty, unique looking flower. And they warm my little heart. How about you?
Wait, actually, before I answer, in my second and third grade classes, I teach this poem called Dandelion. I'm going to send it to you. It's all about resilience and the beauty of being yourself.
And that's actually a thing about dandelions. They're so resilient,
They're so resilient.
And I think of myself as a pretty resilient human being, as a cockeyed optimist myself. But it's that thing of, I love it. I love a good strong flower. I'm a strong, beautiful flower.
You are. That you are. My favorite flower is a lilac. I have very nostalgic memories of lilacs. I love the color. I love that they come every once in a while, and when they bloom, they smell really pretty. And yeah, I really love the sentimental feelings of a lilac. I think maybe one day I might get a tattoo of them, but right now I'm okay.
What I like about lilacs for you though is like I think it will look great on you. That color, that like nice like soft purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're cool. They're cool looking, as are you. So we're both soft, delicate, badass, resilient flowers.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And so are
Um,
all you out there in YouTube and internet land.
yeah. My second question is what what does loyalty mean to you in a game of Survivor where there's consistently lying, backstabbing, manipulating? Like what does loyalty mean to you?
Okay, so I, as a human being, I'm loyal to a fault. That's very real.
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's a very real thing about me. But like when I believe about loyalty in Survivor, I believe in someone I can go to like Final Five with.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my mind, Final Five, it's like all for themselves. Whatever has to happen to get you to the end is what you have to do. Hopefully, you don't hurt people to make it happen. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I want someone like a loyal person. For me, is someone that would I I feel like I can tell like the important things in the game to, and know they're not going to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do the same for me. Like, for lack of a word, it's like Jesse and Cody in 43.
Yes.
Like that was an alliance that was forged in fire because they went through a lot of crap in the beginning. And they also complemented each other very well. I always like someone that complements my style of gameplay or my energy as a human being whenever I play a game to like look for someone to work with. So whenever I'm in that kind of situation, my brain is always like, I know I'm not going to, ideally, like, of course, I would love to be at the end with a person that I can, like, that I want to work with to the end. But like in my again, as I said, like in my mind, it becomes an individual game at Final Five.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
What about you,
That's
David?
no, that's really good insight. Loyalty to me is important because I feel like I'm the type of player that doesn't like react unless provoked. You know, like I think that I am generally like if I commit to you, I commit to you, and I like will try to ride for you as much as possible. Knowing that it is a game, and like I have been described as like an opportunist before, but I really do hold my relationships very dear. I feel like I connect well with everybody,
Mhm.
and yeah, I just I think that loyalty and trust are foundations of a good ally. But knowing when to like make the right moves that both honor your loyalty but also like honor yourself is really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing of like, you want you and your alliance member, like your either final two or whatever, to be actually like trusting of each other, right? So you have to look out for them as they look out for you.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
It's like friendship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So should we start talking about this episode, huh?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, before we get started, we have to talk about the most important thing of the episode. A thing that started getting traction online: Ben's hair flip count. Oh no!
Wow.
I showed the wrong one. So we're like, I'll ask you later. How many you think he did? I don't know how long if you saw that number, but
Mm,
regardless,
I'm blind. I'm blind. I didn't see it at all.
that's why camera goes blurry. But yeah, so at the start of the episode, he's at 29.
Okay.
Not bad for 3 episodes. It's like average of like 9.2 or so an episode. I have no idea. But and we also spoiler, are getting a lot less Ben this episode. Which I think is good for Ben's game.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so now let's get to the real meat and potatoes of what this episode's about. So it starts at 10:19 a.m. We're at the sands of time.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen arrives. She is confused. She was blindsided. And I genuinely like when I see the chat that starts with her, Johnny, and Jen. is why like the Sands of Time is really one of those valuable things in this whole game. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, like how they're gonna like clearly someone in my mind is gonna get back. But like I don't know how it's gonna happen, but that kind of connection that you get is rich, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think the Sands of Time is kind of a relief because some of these great players and characters that you're following in this season are not out. They're just in this like kind of like purgatory kind of thing. So Mergatory? No, just
Purgatory.
Mergatory. No, I think that there's a lot of complicated feelings that come with being voted out and immediately having to go into a twist that potentially may or may not like bring you back into the game. And so yeah, I feel for these players as they enter the Sands of Time twist.
But like I agree. It's that thing of like someone like Kristen's completely blindsided. Like she had no idea what was gonna happen, that she was like really a target. And then she's like, okay, I'm just gonna start talking to these people from the other tribe and gain knowledge and spread knowledge.
Yeah.
And also possibly spread good vibes. Like I think that's an important thing to do here too. And I think that they have like a good vibe going for them, honestly. And then Amir comes over and he's nervous.
Yeah.
And I love this opening moment of Amir appearing there. And like he's like, I'm anxious, I don't know what to do. And then Johnny immediately goes up to hug him. They hug. Krista pulls out her hand. And he just doesn't shake her hand at all.
Oh my god!
And then like him and Johnny hash it out. It's like a very funny little moment there.
Yeah, not the left out handshake, like the whole close up and then like it pulling back. I also think that like that is so reflective of Amir's game thus far. Like so laser focused on like game and himself, and not realizing that there are other factors to like the game that he's playing, like building relationships and slowing down. I think, or I don't know if it's because I feel like he just talks a mile a minute in like the best way, or if he's just like consistently, you know, scanning around to make sure that he's aware of his surroundings. But I do think that he could benefit from just like taking a moment and noticing the things around him.
Yeah, it's. I do wonder how much of that is because like his first 3 hours of the game was just, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like it's fascinating. I think he's a great character on the show. Seems like a great dude too, but just like that fight thing, you just see Kristen like hand out, and then like, okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All this to say, I'm lighting a candle for my first pick boots.
Yeah, I mean that's fair and valid, you know.
Yeah.
I also love that we get the reveal of Amir wrote down Jaleesa and Kristen wrote down Paige.
Yes,
that is definitely going to be important for this game. And also, like, it's nice that like Amir feels like he's grown, which is good. Like, I honestly like this is real. Like, no matter what, I think I told this before for myself. Like, whenever I play an LRG, I try to grow. I try to learn, like whether as a human being or as a player, to either do better as a human being, like interacting with people. And I think that's one of the most under talked about things in LRGs. How people can actually grow from LRGs, like how people interact with people because of LRGs and such. Not like trying to get something, but like try to be like, okay, how can I be the best version of myself in this present moment?
Yeah. Yes, you could not have said it better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's one of the things that like I really love about LRGs. I haven't done one in a while, but it's that thing of like, okay, like my last one, I was actually doing good physically, which is rare for me. I'm not a physical player at all, and I think that's part of why I got taken out. I'm like, cool, okay, new skill set unlocked, great. Go back to being a funny guy, I guess. Yeah. I want to shout out. We have in the chat Timmy. Say hi.
Hi, Timmy.
We're gonna be talking about Timmy in just a moment because Timmy is about to be talked about. But I'm really happy that Amir feels growth. Like that's very genuine on my part. I think that like he had a very complicated game up to this point. I don't know if it's going to get more complicated or not, but it's a thing of like, how is he going to handle what happened?
Yeah.
I'm excited by it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right. So, did you have anything else to add before we move on?
No. I think even with the whole like, if Ymir played an idol for Jen, like they still might be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right. So now it's 10:32 a.m. They're at the immunity challenge. Alex asks for a representative from each tribe to join him. And you got a small little debate of each. We got Ben for Roxborough and Sunshine for Fairmount. And once you get there, everyone dropped their buffs. That's not them. They're now going to be choosing new teams. Ben's representing Roxborough. Sunshine's representing Fairmount. Okay. And it's going to be a schoolyard style pick, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Because how many different kinds of schoolyard picks are there?
I wasn't aware that there were any variations. Mark.
Well, I mean, like in my mind, it's like the captain always is the person that chooses when I think of schoolyard pick.
Oh yeah.
So like, if you're the captain, you choose like the other 5 people.
Yeah.
But I like the variation of like whoever's picked most recently gets to pick next.
Yeah. There is the one where just the captain picks, and then there's also the like chain where like the next person chooses somebody that's from the opposite, so everybody gets to choose. Everybody gets to choose. Yeah.
I mean, I like it's fair. And you know, it shows your cards.
It does show your cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sunshine goes first, and he has to choose someone from the opposite tribe. So he chooses Gabe.
Ben.
Huh?
No, I was just gonna say the next choice.
Yeah, you want to say the next choice?
Yeah, Ben then chooses Timmy.
But weird fact, Timmy says Tim.
Oh yeah, I mean, even when his comment like popped up right there, it was Timmy. Unless there's a preference, please sound off in the chat.
Because it's like, is it too early to reinvent yourself, or is it too late to reinvent yourself in a one-day game?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I like in my mind, it's like it's that slight difference of do I go by Mark, do I go by Levy? You know.
I don't think so, friend.
I don't know. I mean, I never go by Levy. I don't.
Never. That's what I'm saying. You never go by Levy. It'd be the same thing as me going like, "Oh, either is fine. Thank you, Timmy."
Thank you, Timmy.
Tim. I think I'll just be. I'll go wherever I vibe. It's like if I would rather go by Dave or Davey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like that little iteration, but both are fine. Both are great.
It just caught my ear in that weird way of like, is this intentional? And I don't know. You know me. I try to read shit, and I don't. Yeah, it was an interesting thing to my mind.
Yeah.
So after that, Gabe chooses Ryan.
Yep. And then Timmy chooses Jaleesa, but pause. I do want to highlight that most of the men were chosen first. And I think that when you're doing those like schoolyard picks where everybody has a choice, like there's so many factors that come into choosing somebody like for your team. Do you think that this person would vibe with you? Do you think that they are a physical asset? Do you think that they, look like they're not having a great time and you want to like pull them in? There's so many factors when choosing. But I just wanted to highlight that 4 out of the 5 men were, or sorry, 3 out of the 4 leftover men were chosen first.
Huh. Yeah. That's fast. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then Ryan chooses Emma.
No, okay. I
What?
think no, you were like okay.
No. Like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, I mean, for me as a person, I normally most of my friends are female. Like, that's just how I'm wired.
Yes.
But like, I don't know. Like, whenever I think of in a strategy situation like this, my brain's like, do I have an ally, or do I have a potential ally?
Yeah.
And I feel like one of these tribes went more I'm choosing my allies than the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I only brought it up because I think that as someone who has a lot of intersectionality in like the LRG space, I'm always looking at those factors. You know, um, I'm always thinking about gender disparity. I'm always thinking about sexual orientation. I'm thinking about race. Like I just naturally have to.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm laser focused on. Just highlighting it.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. And Timmy chooses Jaleesa, and this tribe is starting to look like my tribe draft.
A little bit, yeah. And Emma chooses Manfred.
And Jaleesa chooses Robinette.
And then Manfred chooses Paige.
Robinette chooses Jasmine, and Natasha's defaulted to purple.
Yeah. I think this is interesting how we get a 4-2 and a 3-3.
I think it's really interesting too. Well, I think when also Natasha's face crack when she's chosen last, I'm like, oh,
I'm really, really enjoying Natasha this season.
me too.
Like we get a lot of really good content from her new tribe, and I feel like she's going to be a very important character.
Yeah. Whoa.
All good.
Yes, my computer almost fell. I also think that it's interesting because this challenge requires them to use blocks, 4 blocks that spell out the word safe, but it
Yeah.
has to go from top to bottom. And there's 4 ropes that are holding this contraption. But it's interesting because these are tribes of 6.
And it looked like each tribe. I saw that Natasha was sitting out on one tribe.
Did she have a block in her hand, or was she just
I
like?
don't recall. I remember not seeing her. I noticed it in the second watch, like when I watched it today, that she was not holding a rope.
Yeah.
So, and it looked like they were all holding their own block at the same time. I have no idea how that distribution went, but because it was chopped in a weird way. I mean, I'm happy with the footage we have, but it was hard to tell what was happening with dynamics and such.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was that traditional everyone hold a rope and try to spell it out type challenge. Which it looked like they got this pretty easy. Like it looked like it was, I don't know if it was intentionally done quick or if it was just done quick, but it was really cool seeing how quick these teams were able to do that, you know?
Yes, I agree.
Oh, I also want to bring up a funny thing in the episode. Alex and me, after he introduced the challenge, he goes, "Let's get it started." And my brain was like, "Why is he not saying on?" But I'm also like, that makes sense that he didn't say on because it's not boxing or wrestling.
Yeah.
I love the editing of the end of this because like it feels like everyone's like immediately EFA, and then
Yeah.
it's Ben who's kind of like prowling like a cat. Like he
Mm-hmm.
has a very gentle cat-like motions. And you
Yeah.
see Ryan kind of like beast cat his way in, like a panther.
Yeah. I mean, he was trying to make up for lost time for sure. Him holding that block in his neck and just like trying his darndest to like get there. Oh my gosh. It was really thrilling.
Did you think that Ryan was gonna be able to catch up like the way it was? Because it was like it was a little hard to tell. The editing of this was fantastic. I really was impressed with how that last letter especially went.
Wait, can you repeat that?
So, like, did you think that it was a foregone conclusion that unless something weird happened, that New Roxborough was going to lose, or was going to win? Like, did you think that they were going to like definitely win?
I was kind of rooting for the 3-3 tribe to go to tribal.
Yeah,
Just because I think that those dynamics are a lot more dynamic. And when the other tribe lost, I was like, ooh, this is not looking good for Emma and Gabe.
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Roxborough wins, which means Fairmount is going to Tribal Council, which is, as we stated earlier, Emma, Gabe, Ryan, Manfred, Paige, and who am I forgetting now? Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A block that actually ended up voting together, which honestly, like at first, my brain's like, I don't know if that's like definitely a voting like alliance or if it's a block.
I think that it was a voting block that turned into an alliance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last vote was 3-2-2, so it was very split on what people wanted to do. Like
Mhm.
obviously people wanted to flush Ryan's idol and people really wanted to get Manfred out, but the crew that voted together to get Kristen out was the voting block that succeeded.
Yeah.
And I think now because they're all in the same tribe, like boom, you know?
It makes it very fascinating to me, honestly. Like I'm very intrigued what's gonna happen in the future, but like obviously we're not there yet. But it was that thing where like the way the episode was shot, it always felt like this is an alliance because they voted together, but it's also like in my mind just a block at that point. But I sometimes people are put into alliances.
Yes. Sometimes they are.
So Manfred says he does hope his people stick together.
Yes.
And we get like the first like genuinely happy camp life for Roxborough then.
Oh my god,
And
I
they're like
know.
this is our healing era, and Jasmine is just so happy.
So
Oh,
happy.
I love
Happy
that.
days are here again.
Yeah.
I
Uh
think like
yeah.
oh sorry.
No, you go first.
No, I think that's something that the Purple Tribe has really wanted from the beginning was the ability to just like be human and like connect with their tribe. Like actually seeing Jasmine, Jaleesa, and Ben get to talk about their personal lives and um, just get to kiki, as Robinette says, is very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the flashback that we get when we find out that Roxborough thought that Fairmount was laughing at them because they
Yes.
heard the dog poop idol
Yes.
reveal.
Oh my god, I know. I also think that laughing to make the other tribe jealous is so petty and fun.
Yeah. It's like how evil would you have to be as a tribe at like the first round and like laugh like that?
Right.
But like it's just so funny the flashback you see Jen like fighting for her life and also ah!
Yeah. I know. They're like, oh, they're having so much fun. I wish I wouldn't have to compete. Well,
I mean, sometimes just sometimes you have to find out dog poop is not an idol. Uh,
yes.
we get learned that Natasha's from Texas, but now lives in Rhode Island. And honestly, like what we're getting from her this episode is just so rich with her observations of how people are playing. And
Yeah.
I obviously think that's something that she has to do with her career and such. But like, it's just I'm really vibing with what she's been giving us right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I I really love this like dual aspect of Natasha. Like we see her as someone I kind of view her as a humanitarian, someone that did uh I believe she said marketing and then left to go work in DEI and is still doing marketing.
Yeah,
Yes. I find that to be like really humanitarian and like someone who like champions change. Like that is someone who I think is holistically like a good person and also has this like eye in the game. So like not only is she making connections and is an empath, but she's also like, hey, I'm here to play and now like I'm in a 3-3 tribe, so like what's gonna happen?
like I really like want her and Jaleesa to work together.
Yeah.
Like those are two people that I'm like you have like really good strong hearts and are like you're definitely a thinker before you talk type person too.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued by what's happening. Like I just and like it was really fun like saying like I love seeing like the like this is my life outside of the game type stuff. And you see like how beautiful the photos are of like the work that she's done. It just warms my little nerdy heart, you know?
Yeah. I would love a tribe alliance of Robinette, Jaleesa, Jasmine, Natasha, And I mean, this whole Purple Tribe, like even Ben and Timmy, mwah, I love it.
Final 6.
Final 6, truly.
Yeah, I'd
But
be fine with that. Yeah.
yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think this is fascinating. We learned that what Ben is saying is his job is an interesting choice, considering. I mean, he doesn't say what it is, but if you look at the photos and you know what's on YouTube, he works for one of the biggest YouTubers out there in the world.
Yes.
But I find it fascinating. I'm a photographer, which is a thing that he has done before, and he has the energy of a young photographer. Although I don't know if he's that young, but it's that energy of like, I could. If he told me he was a photographer, I'd be like, okay, I believe that. You know?
Yeah. I feel so bad, because I'm not part of the pandemic thwarted my plans club, but it definitely put a lot of like perspectives of like how to move forward with this life event. But I'm happy to see that he was able to change the direction of his life and like do something really fun and aligned to the arts. I also know what he works for, so that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember like when he was like talking about it in the intro, so I'm like, yeah, I've been watching that since about 2020.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I am in that camp of the pandemic did thwart my plans. Like there were some really exciting things, opportunities for me as an actor that I'm still trying to find ways to make them come back, you know,
Yeah.
or find ways for them to return in a different way if they have to.
Yes. Yes.
But this isn't about me.
Yes. But also, what like have you ever played with someone that lied about their occupation?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think so.
I did.
Really?
Yes. So I played with someone who I knew was like was in a science field.
Yeah.
And I think that they were just like really nervous because like we were organically going around the group and we were like sharing what we were doing. And then I like the last thing that I said was, "Oh yeah, I'm a teacher." And I think that they just got kind of spooked and they were like, "Oh yeah, like I'm a teacher too." And I was like, "Oh, like that's awesome. What grade?" And they were like, "Oh, high school." And like, just like pretty short answers. And I didn't want to press on because I think saving face is really important. But then at the end of the game, they told me that they were in med school.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, I knew you were lying, friend.
I feel like people only lie about their careers if it's like a game for like real money,
Yeah.
or real clout, I guess. I mean, I understand exactly why Ben lied about his career. Like that's a career to lie about.
Yes.
That's definitely a career to lie about because people be, oh wow, I could get clout by that or whatever. I mean, like I don't know. In my mind, it's not like I would target him, but it's like maybe I'd be more drawn to or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like photographer is a really good choice for what Ben did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It also reminds me of my favorite America's Next Top Model episode where they did a hair shoot. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta talk about the Jasmine and Drake of it all,
Oh.
Wow.
Well,
It's so funny because in my mind, all we've got in the Jasmine is like very serious and then a little bit of anxiety. And then we see her having fun at a Drake concert and having a lot of fun at a Drake concert.
Yeah.
By giving him some clothing.
Yeah. Just say it, Mark. She threw her
threw
bra on the stage.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved how demure, very mindful you were of how she did that.
I'm a straight white man. Like it's that thing of like
that's fine. Call on me. I'll say it.
Like Davey, say the word.
Oh my god. She threw her bra on stage to Drake. I mean, like, there was a point in time where, I also would have thrown my bra at Drake. I would have thrown something at him. But I'm not in that boat right now. But no, I think that Robinette was onto something about seeing how someone who would throw their bra on stage and also works with kids at the moment because they want to pursue PR is just like a fun and vibing person.
Yeah.
And I think that I was a little worried in the first couple of episodes for Robinette because we didn't really see a lot of them. And I was also worried for Jasmine because Jasmine voted incorrectly the last vote. So I'm glad that these two picks of mine are coming together to potentially like work together.
And it's like Robinette's clearly such a cool badass. And like her seeing that in Jasmine, like was like, okay, this feels like a nice good alliance of friendship at least.
Yes. Yes.
Um
Also, I think
yeah.
I just want to go back for a hot second. I think when the Green Tribe is together, there's a shout out to Daddy Dave from last season.
I think it's in the next part, but yes, we have to talk
Oh
about Daddy
yes,
Dave. We love Daddy Dave.
yes,
Father Fave.
Father Fave. Um,
Who's also in Surviving Maine right now.
ooh, right now,
Well, like not like in it's airing right now. I was actually supposed to be in that season.
got it.
I know. I would have probably died, but I wanted to play because I think Surviving Maine is like one of the coolest ones out there.
Got it. Cool. Okay.
Subscribe to Surviving Maine.
Yeah.
Anyone out there, like holy crap, they do amazing work. Liza, Dr. Taylor, all of them. It's just oh my god, it's such a great LRG.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, go check out Surviving Maine. Shout out to Liza. Yeah, so shout out to Daddy Dave.
Mhm.
And I find it so funny. Like you really do have two different games in the form of Emma and Gabe right now.
Yes.
It's I mean, they're both enticing at this point in the game because only 4 people have gone home so far. So like what do you do? What is their now or never decision? Do you decide to go for someone who immediately wants to try and sacrifice the other person because they know that they have connections on the other side? Or do you like vote for the person who is relationship building the heck out of themselves and then divulging information about being a lone wolf?
It's so weird because like when you look at the original Roxborough, like Emma was in a great spot. And Gabe was not necessarily in a great spot.
Yeah.
And literally they immediately turn on each other instead of trying to figure out if there's any weaknesses.
Yeah.
I think at first Emma does try to see like to work with Paige, which would have been a really interesting people to work with together, I think, if that would have actually happened. But because those are two smart, awesome people. Also, congrats to Paige just having their baby.
Yay! I
Congrats.
know. Congratulations, girl. You don't need to listen to this podcast right now, but it looks like 2 people have written your name down on blocks, and I just hope that you're taking care of that baby.
Oh yeah. Precious, precious baby, and also the nightmares of LRGs airing on YouTube.
Yes.
But it's interesting because I don't think Emma was going to go after Gabe immediately.
No, I don't think so either. I think now she's really feeling the heat. Like you just came into a tribe where you're down 4-2, and going back to why I brought up like the gender disparity, it's because like this is a tribe that does have more men, and the men were chosen first. And so like it's not really looking good for Emma, even though like if Emma was on my tribe, I'd be like, yo, let's work together because I feel like I would want to have connections on the other side when the numbers dwindle down. Like I would rather have someone that has a few connections and we can link up versus like adapting a free agent who doesn't have anybody come merge.
Yeah. I mean, like, because if you're adopting Gabe, that means you are a 5. And Gabe is the 5th spot.
Yes.
Like that's exactly what it is. In theory, he bought himself around, depending on how things go next round.
Yes.
But like, it's that thing of I don't know. I think like Emma would have been smarter long term to
Mm.
keep. I don't know. It just I do love the fact. I do love how when they got over there, immediately Sunshine's like, "Here's some more paint. Have fun. Like you're part of our tribe." I thought that was such a beautiful move. Sunshine gets what his job is on this tribe. He says he's the tribe father. He's got the snacks up the wazoo. Uh, but
Yeah, not at the
yeah,
wazoo. LOL. He he's playing a very like, hey, I have the things that you need. I have snacks, clementines, jerky, pistachios. I have face paint. I have pride. I also have a personality that's really infectious, and you don't want to vote for me. I think that is very good social graces right now.
yeah. Yeah, I really do wonder though, because when I think back to that the journey that Ryan went on, and Jen was like the women are all working together. Like my brain's like that little nugget like
All
spread
right,
so hard. Um, and I'm wondering if this could have turned against Ryan.
it could.
I mean, it could have. Like I don't think it is going to, but like it's that thing of like Emma could just like, no, we were all fighting for our lives, and yes, mostly men are gone, but like she was honest. She was like, it was a woman thing at first, but now it's not.
Right. Um, I got a message from Sunshine. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, I'm asking if I can say it or not. LOL.
All right.
he
Well,
he
yeah.
also when I was saying like Sunshine has all these things that people need, he said I also had the weed pen, but nobody else wanted to smoke.
Valid. Valid.
Valid. I mean,
Yeah.
also, can like, do I think that I could like socialize and like do my best a little high? Maybe so. I feel like I'm high functioning sometimes, but I do. Yeah, like I probably would have like a little mini puff, but I wouldn't do a big puff because I
A
wanted
half
to.
puff.
Yeah, half puff. But thanks, Sunshine.
Rockstar. Love him.
Yes.
Um, I also think like at this present moment, from what we're shown, it looks like what Emma's saying is working,
Yeah.
but also what Gabe is saying is working too.
Right.
It's just interesting like how quickly this devolves for Emma. But yeah. Anything else to say about them before we go back to Roxborough for their background talk?
Nope.
All right. So we got one last thing with Roxborough, where Timmy asks everyone why they're here, and Timmy wants to experience life to the fullest. Teresa says that we're all going to die. Might as well have some fun, have experienced fun things. Jasmine
Yes.
watches Survive with her mom. Ben was going to travel around the world as like an artist with like whaling photo, like use like whaling photos,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. And Natasha's been in the world to change the world, which I'm like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. I I think that the backstories have been really on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Per my notebook, I literally wrote that. Um, I like how whenever they're saying their backstories or their backgrounds, in the episode during confessionals, they have B footage to match all of it. Like, I wonder what that process was like, being like, hey, Timmy, I know that you like are going to school for English, and like we want to see you and some like B-roll of, you know, your like acceptance letter, or like, hey, Robinette, we know that you DJ. Can you show some like videos of you DJing? Like, they
Thank
have
you.
a.
Yeah, you're on a boat.
I know.
Yeah, no, I thought like it's really fascinating because like there's been so much B-roll for Jen,
Yeah.
and like it's interesting seeing that for everyone now because like as me as a person who reads a lot, tries to read Edgic, my brain's like, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean for the season? And I'm like, oh no, they just have a lot of amazing B-roll for everyone.
Right. Yeah, they do have amazing B-roll for everybody. Like even Natasha's like footage of Michelle Obama. I'm like, hello. And also, that hair was herring. It
Yeah.
was so nice.
It's
Natasha.
Natasha's like climbing up my like personal rankings for winner pick this season, like every episode. And I'm sure that means she's getting voted out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell me anything more about Fairmount, or should we go back to anything else about Roxborough, or should we just go back to Fairmount for the rest of the episode?
Nope. I'm ready. The last thing that I have to say is you better Kiki in reference to Rebonette.
Yes. All right. So now we're back to Fairmount, and Gabe is fighting hard. Like he's fighting hard. Like it's almost like hard to tell if it's like sticking or not, or if they're like not, or if it's not. Like he's fighting that hard to stay. Yeah. And Manfred says he's like not sure if about Natasha. And Sunshine brings up how he wants to be the team dad and has a whole pantry in his bag. And Emma brought clementines also. And
Team
Emma,
Dad. Dad, I'm really hungry. I'm strategizing too much. Can I get a clementine?
Dad, can I have some jerky, please? Thank you. Actually, that is a smart thing to bring on, honestly. Yeah. And Emma brings up how she is scrambling, but knows that she made a mistake exactly when she made her choice, because that's when that whole block came over. But I think it's also fascinating at this point we get Ryan mention how he wants to work with Gabe, but doesn't want to be with Gabe in the final three.
Yeah.
Or did I mishear the first half? I'm not sure. But I know it's about like not wanting to be by Gabe at the end.
I think he said that because Gabe is very charismatic. I think something that I've seen is just like the way that he interacts. Even though his name has been out there every single round, he still finds a way to stay because he does connect with people in that way. And also just like the question he asks as a private investigator, you know? So yeah. I think that to Ryan's point, like no more patty cake, like I think that he really is just thinking about the future and the end of this game. I don't know if I would want to sit with Gabe at the end, knowing that he had to survive so many tribal councils to get to that point. So
I mean, it makes sense to me. And again, like at this point is when I wrote down my question myself of like, I really do wonder what would happen if Gabe and Emma are like, we need each other. Let's not turn on each other.
Right.
Like obviously that's hypothetical, but like I guess this person would probably take out Ryan.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, then you have to like actually know like how the votes were initially.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I mean, that's just the way that is. So then it's 11:18. Was there anything else you want to talk about in the scramble before we get to the tribal?
Say it again.
Was there anything else you want to talk about in the scramble before we get to the tribal?
No, I just think that leveraging being alone versus like, you know, having connections on the other side is a really interesting argument because it does dictate your vote and the future wherever, like whenever you get there. Like right now, it's final 12.
Yes.
Yeah, it's final 12 right now. So like, thinking in my mind, I know that merge is right around the corner. So I would lean towards saving Emma because I don't want to be insulated without connections. But that's just me playing like a defensive game. Sorry, defensive, not defensive.
I agree with exactly what you're saying. It's that thing of like, there's a reason Emma was able to coalesce numbers.
Right.
And that's just how I mean, that's just how it matters to you, whether you want that to be on your side or gone.
I think that she was as charismatic as Gabe in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, so Alex brings him in for tribal. Mm-hmm. Gabe's like, I feel like a free agent. Emma's got numbers. And it's honestly a pretty straightforward tribal. It's nothing anything like too extreme. Like if like the writings on the wall at this point It's very obvious that they're going to vote out Emma.
Yes.
Like there's nothing in any of the questions that makes you think anything else could possibly happen.
Right.
So it is a 5-1 vote. And when after she gets her torch snuffed, Sunshine asks if she wants some beef jerky, and Paige apologizes.
I know. I mean, this is like so like this is such a nuance, but whenever somebody gets voted out, I never say I'm sorry. I always say good game.
It's that weird thing of like you don't know what kind of twist is going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
They don't know that the other people might be getting back in. Now, if I'm getting like if the last thing someone tells me is want some beef jerky or I'm sorry, I'll be like, fuck you. You could have done better with me when you had me. Now I want you gone.
Wow, Mark.
I mean, that's just the way
I know.
it is.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not saying I'm just saying like when you vote people out, there's a like it matters. Like you know what I mean? Like the energy you give off at the end of their game or your game matters.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying that it wasn't funny or anything like that. It was hilarious. Like Sunshine saying you want some beef jerky, and then a Paige immediately apologizing. It's funny. Like it's funny.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm sad my winner pick went out. Not my first draft pick.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna play a great game. I hope she gets back in.
I know. Can we have a moment of silence, like for our fallen first draft picks?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're done because it was just a second.
Yeah. So then she gets to the Santa time table, and she gives her block to Paige.
She does, Paige. You got 2, girl. You got 2.
Paige, you gotta make people be less sad when you voted them out.
I know.
Yeah. You go first.
I'm sad because the Sands of Time, I don't know them personally, but I just have this feeling that the Sands of Time is not very generous. And so that means that only one of these great players is coming back. And I don't know who it will be. And I hope that it's, I hope that there's 2, but I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah. Like, okay, so the Sands of Time thing is going to probably happen at Final 10, right? Because there's 16 players and 6 blocks. So, like, that's what makes the most sense to me. Like, I think they're going to probably give a little more time next week for the special guest, which we'll talk about that in a moment. But, yeah, I can't imagine more than one person's coming back, especially if they want, like, a jury of, like, 8 or whatever.
Right.
Unless it's a Final 2, but I feel like that's really rare in a one-day LRG for a Final 2.
Right.
I'm really intrigued what these punishments can be, though. Like what if it's like extra knots or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, like Paige in theory has at least 2 more knots than everyone else.
Yeah.
Except for a couple other people, but yeah. Anything else you want to talk about the episode before we get to the next time on?
No, I'm just really sad for my girl Emma because she got swap screwed.
She was great. Like I said, I talked to her this week. She was really nice. And enjoys our coverage, and I hope we see her back on our screen as a player. Yeah.
Yes.
So next time, it's getting exciting. The Sands of Time are growing.
They are.
They are growing, and it's getting a little spicier in there. In that little hut. There's an actual advantage that will go to the person that gets to this thing first. And then it looks like there's also an idol hunt too, which is great. And then I'm really excited because we got one of my favorite Survivor Philadelphia alums and another great player from Survivor from Philadelphia, Bryce and James Jones.
Woo! Woo!
I'm really excited to see how they're going to affect the game. Maybe they're going to host a challenge. It'd be cool if they play a little bit,
Yes.
Can you imagine those 2 guys just join the game at Final 11?
I know. Iconic.
Oh. What do you think they're going to do in the game besides for just appear and be like, "Good job, guys"?
I think maybe they could be similar to Jen, where they can advise players if they win on on how to navigate the game or like best tips moving forward, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds smart to me. Like a reward type challenge.
Yeah. Something
Yeah,
like that.
I like that. I'm just excited to see them, and you guys can see them too. The episode does drop Tuesday, August 20th, my birthday,
Yeah.
at 6 p.m. You can watch it live. I unfortunately will not be able to watch it live because I am not working tomorrow because that reason. Um, and it's I can't wait to talk about this next week with Davey, who will be helping after he helps with one of my favorite LRGs in the world, one we've covered before,
Yes.
Survivor New York season 8, which I can't wait to watch. I might be helping remotely. I'm not sure yet, but we'll find that out soon. But
Yes.
I can't wait to see Davey in the background being awesome and supportive and all that good stuff.
Yes, I'm really excited for this new cohort of people. I don't actually know the cast this time around, but I am cheering for everybody. If you are playing Survivor New York Season 8, best of luck to you.
Get rest now, hydrate. Hydrate. Like my season was like 100 degrees the whole time I was there.
Yes.
I don't think that's in the cards this time, but yeah.
Yes.
Davey, how can people find you? Anything exciting happening?
Yeah, you can find me at Daveyy Sack, DAVEYYSAK, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't have anything exciting coming up, other than production and like honestly like taking a little bit of a break. I am turning 32 very soon. I share my birthday with Tyler from last season. So happy birthday to Tyler as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Where can people find you?
At home. No. You can find me at MarkLevy85 on Twitter and Instagram. I've been doing a lot of TikToks, as you might be aware, with movie reviews at Movie Mark. I'll be in Minnesota from August 29th through like September 5th. Going to the state fair, which I'm very excited about. My fiance has been talking about that, taking me there for 5 years now, which is as long as we've been dating. So I'm very, very excited to take the trip out there and hopefully meet some friends from online out there too. Muna, I know you're not watching, but I would love to finally meet you. We've been trying every time I've come out there. And yeah, I'm not in any games really right now, but hopefully, we'll keep our schedule in the next 2 weeks somewhat normal. It might be a little bit different, but keep your eyes open.
Yes. Agreed.
And with that, Davey.
Yes.
I think it's time that we wrap up this episode.
I do too.
Friends, see you next time.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.